Hi, my name is Nikolai. I've been with CensorNet for almost 9 years. What we do at CensorNet is allow the users access from wherever they are, so very much in line with the whole idea behind Citrix. We've been working with Citrix as a Citrix Ready partner for years now. I'll show you a quick demo of what some of our solutions are doing. At CensorNet, we have 4 main pillars. So we do user authentication, which will be the focus of today. We also do web security, email security, and cloud application control, which has also been very relevant here at the show today, this week. Within user authentication, 3 or 4 years ago, we developed this 3rd generation in user authentication, which is a very user-centric approach to user authentication, and also introduced adaptive user authentication. Adaptive user authentication is what allows you to have to give your users a great user experience, which is always critical, while maintaining a very high level of security. So when the users log in, we'll look at the contextual information surrounding that login. If we need to generate a code in order for them to authenticate, we'll do that code in real time, and therefore we can tie that code to the session that they just launched, whether that's Citrix NetScaler, web interface even, Outlook Web Access, Office 365, VPN of any kind, or receiver that always likes to announce itself here. So when we do the user will do the username password, I'll show it in a minute, and then we'll generate a code and send that code out in any way you want. So our main 4 different ways to authenticate the user will be a text message, an email, a voice call, or an app, a push notification. Either way, the code is real-time generated and session-specific. So the code is tied to that session, which is what allows us that freedom, which is what allows you that freedom to send out, to dispatch the code any way you want, because even if someone grabbed that code, they wouldn't be able to use it. It's of course time-limited, and it's also randomly generated, so there's no seed files, which means that even if we're compromised as a vendor, it wouldn't affect our customers. With when we do the authentication, we look at the IP address of the end user. We do a lookup, and we find whatever we can of contextual information. Like in this case, it looks as if this user is logging in from Frankfurt Airport in Germany. So hopefully the user can validate that he is there. Otherwise, there's something terribly wrong, and this is a warning, right? So I'll show you what a typical login would look like. I'll just log myself out of NetScaler here, and I'll show you a login. So we wanted to make this as simple as possible, and we've done this for 13, 14 years now, and it's always been the same logical flow. The user will have their username and AD password, no PIN codes, nothing installed on the computer, nothing installed on the phone necessarily, unless you want the app, of course. The user will just type username and password, and then we'll validate, do we know this user? Do we want him to log in from this IP address, this country, this organization owner? Yes, we do in this case. We also need you to put in a code, so here's the code on my phone. In this case, delivered as a text message. Let's say I'm on an airplane, so I wouldn't be able to receive this text message, so it'll automatically fail over. I can hit S for status here, and it'll automatically fail over after 2 minutes, or how much time you want. It'll automatically fail over to another delivery mechanism. So in this case, it fails us over in 20 seconds from this text message to an app notification. So I'll be able to show you that. If I don't put in the code, it'll see if there's another way to send out the code. That could be email or voice call, for instance. We actually have an API, so you could do smoke signals or other ways to dispatch the code, but we haven't seen that yet in real life. But the whole idea is that because the code, as I mentioned before, is session specific, you have complete freedom to dispatch this code, broadcast this code if you want, any way you can think of. On top of these different codes, this is the CensorNet app. On top of these different mechanisms, we also support tokens like YubiKey. I believe we were the first one to do that, actually. I have a YubiKey inserted in my machine here. I can tap that. The code is now validated in the YubiKey cloud service, and then I'm authenticated. We can protect Office 365, VPN, webmail, and of course all the different Citrix solutions. We helped Citrix develop radius authentication support for their receivers. And one of the latest collaborations was this calling station ID in Citrix NetScaler 10.1, a newer version. You've seen that feature. That's what allows us to look at the the IP of the end user, which is again what allows you to do adaptive user authentication. So depending on where you log in from, you might need a one-time passcode, or maybe you don't. That depending on what user you are, which country you're in, what access point you're going through. So all of that is configurable and made as policies. We believe that user authentication belongs in the domain, so this is an on-premise solution that you have behind your firewall. So our Office 365 support would be through ADFS or SAML, but we would support any cloud service you have using ADFS and SAML. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.